Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. I was going to do a watch along for Manchester City and Juventus, but my app has lied to me. It told me it was on Channel 5, and it's not. It's on DAZN, and on DAZN, I don't know, the coverage just seems all a little bit fragmented. So I thought we'd have a little look back, and we'd have I'll copy my old mate Lee Gunner, we'll have a Spurs-style emergency meeting. Guys, I don't know if it is an emergency meeting. It's kind of the same, isn't it? And I knew when I put out the video I put out earlier, and first of all, thank you very much to everybody that watched that video. It's flying along quite nicely. There were a lot of people that messaged back and went, "Oh, it's only June. You lot panic every year." And you know my response? My response every year is, and every year I'm right. Every year I am right. Not just me, many of us. I hear every year, wait, the window's just open, the window's not shut yet. But we never seem to get moving, do we? We never seem to get going. We never seem to come out the traps quickly with a really good signing. And then I think the news that many people didn't want to hear this afternoon was this. It was Ben Jacobs saying that Arsenal have added Eberechi Eze to their list of left-winger targets. Eze also being considered by Spurs. He has a 68 million release clause in his Palace contract. Rodrigo also remains of interest. The Real winger will discuss his future with Xabi Alonso before deciding whether to explore an exit. Real are prepared to sell for around 90 million euros. Now, that in itself isn't, oh my gosh, this is the worst news that we've heard. We'll come back to that. This isn't, oh my gosh, this is the worst news we've heard. Arsenal have bid for Eze, but it is the first time that we're seeing links now with Eze. It's the first time that we've properly seen links in the last 24 hours. Both Manchester City and now, from more reliable sources, them lot down the road, Arsenal, who we know are very active right now. They're very active. Kepa, Norgard, Zubamendi, Mosquera, who they've just put in a bid for from Valencia, Sesko, Garquerez. I mean, when you look at what they're doing and then you look at us and go, hello, we just won a European trophy. Hello, new manager. Hello, finished 17th. Can we, just for once, can we just get going? Can we actually get going with a signing that means anything? And as I said, I don't count Matisse Tell. I think Matisse Tell, as I said earlier, is a very, very lazy signing. Matisse Tell. But it just feels like we're active in everything else. Sacking managers, appointing managers, sacking coaches, appointing coaches. Donna Cullen's left. Players have left. And, you know, you're sitting here going, okay, well, what about the one area that we always neglect? The one area we always neglect. That's right. The actual people that run around with their two little legs on that bit of grass. They're the ones that make you a better football team. It's not a stadium. It's not a training ground. It's the players. And again, it just feels very much, there's no panic. There is no panic. But I think we are very much in a position where I think most of the fan base would have liked to see, would have liked to have seen something quick, something big, move on somebody. I don't mean Tell. Again, I'm so massively underwhelmed. Rude Boy saying, I haven't moved the goalpost. We can't sign until the 1st of July. You can be in talks. You can be negotiating. You can't announce them until the 1st of July, but you can still be in talks. I think the worrying thing for me is we are seeing now Chelsea moving big, Arsenal moving big, City moving big, Liverpool moving big. And it's at the stage where you're going, okay, Are we even gonna try and keep up? Are we going to try and keep up? Are we not even going to bother anymore? Are we just not that club? Big up to Sean. Sean, I'll redirect you when I've finished, my man. I will redirect you when I've finished. I think you've got a show going live at 9. Is that right? I think I saw that. Don't want to say it, but I did say it last night, Savva. This is all Sean Butler's fault. If anyone wants to send hate mail, Sean Butler's personal email address is SeanButler@itsallhisfault.com. Get over there. Smash the abusive emails to him. No, obviously don't. And obviously that's not his email address. Yeah, Sean, we talked about this last night, didn't we? And said, well, look, the problem you've got is that, the slower you move in the market, the quicker everyone else picks up opportunities. I just really thought after everything that's happened, everything that's happened, we might move out the blocks quickly. And as I said, I wasn't expecting it to be announced, but where's, like Arsenal yesterday, Norgard, boom, done. Today, it's Mascara. Do you know what I mean? We're just seeing Arsenal just boom, and boom, and boom, and boom. And we're not even in talks with anyone. As far as I can see, we're not in talks with anyone. Now, you'll get the people that say, oh, well, we might be working in the shadows. We're working in the darkness. By the way, Sean, can you confirm, are you live at 9? I'll do a redirect straight from here to you. By the way, some news coming out from David Ornstein is that Fulham are pursuing a deal to sign Romelu from Giuseppe. So Fulham have bid for the 23-year-old striker, 16 million euros plus add-ons, rejected without counter, but talks ongoing. Giuseppe want north of 20 million euros. Other Premier League European clubs targeting the Brazilian. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot. Big up. I'll send over to you when I finish, my man. But I know Lubo's going on with you tonight, so enjoy that. Get to watch you and Lubo have another face-off. Yeah, Bourbon Buzzard disembarrassed the shit out of me this morning. We dare in the darkness. Now, what makes me laugh is Spurs are so good at this, aren't we? Look at our new kit. Look at this hotel. Look at all this. All right, cool. What about on the pitch? What about on the pitch? Now, listen, as I said, it is early doors. And we could get into next week, the week after, and we start seeing some really big players in negotiations. I think the problem is even those that are the most optimistic, should we say, those that are glass not half full, it's like 99% full. Even those people I'm starting to see say, oh, I'm just not sure what we're going to do. Eugene saying people bought the nonsense PR from Levy that he wants to win. Nothing changed at this club. Now, listen, I didn't think we were going to win the league anytime soon. But what we would like to see is that we're going to start signing some players, some good players. And Phil, it very much looks like that way. It very much looks like that way. Now, again, you'll never hear me saying anything bad about Frank. I like him. I think he's a very good coach. But thank God we've got him, because if we're not going to go big, then you've got to coach them. You couldn't have not gone big and left someone like Ange in charge. It just wouldn't have worked. You've got to upskill these players if that's what we're going to go in with. Levy wants the league like you want Margot Robbie. I'll tell you what, if he wanted the league like I wanted Margot Robbie, it would be very, very different. Big up to my man out there in Denver. A very hot day there. Long drive home for Leo. Big up to you, my man. Hope you and the family are well. Raida said Xavi Simons versus Eze are better than Eze. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I'll take either, by the way. But for me, I think that what we realistically want. By the way, Sean, if you're in the chat and you're free, feel free to jump on until you go live. By the way, absolutely feel free. For me, I think Eze is a really good player. And, I mean, if Arsenal get Eze plus Subamendi, plus, Sesko or Garcares, and they're going to be a force, aren't they? They are going to be a force. They filled out as well. That if they get Mascara, Kepa, Norgard, you see what they're doing for every first team player they're buying squad depth as well. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And this is what happens. They've gone and got a proper director of football in Berta. And already you can see that they're making moves. I just pray they don't get the striker over the line, but I've got a feeling that they're very much going to get the striker over the line. Big up to each and every one of you. Thank you for all the likes, all the subscribers. We are cruising nicely along towards 19,000. We are currently 320 away from that marker. So if anyone hasn't subscribed, please do. The link is going to be put into the chat right now. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll even pin it. Here we go. I'm going to pin it so that if anyone did want to subscribe, there it is. Let's get to some of your comments because you are the people that matter. I always think that with YouTube channels, I think without going to the comments, I feel sometimes it's a little bit pointless. You guys are the ones that keep the channels going. Scott M, big up Scott. How you doing? Scott, if you'd like to come on, obviously I don't know your timings or whatever, feel free. I haven't spoken to you for ages. Eze over Simons all day long. Yeah, listen, I'll take both. But yeah, I agree with you. I prefer Eze. I think we get to see Eze a lot more, which maybe weights the decision a little bit in that favour. But hey, it is what it is. Ruben has said, I prefer Kudus because he plays on the right, which I think we need at the moment. But if Arsenal get Eze, I think there's going to be proper riots. Yeah, listen, if Arsenal have a midfield of Rice, Zubimendi and Eze with Saka, I don't know, whoever, Rodrigo and Garquerez. Now, obviously, that's not happened yet. They're 3 players away from that happening, but it could happen. Arsenal look like they're splashing the cash. Could happen. C to the Voice said Eze will want 200k and has no resale value. Goes against the youth process. Unfortunate, but don't see them making the move. Mate. And then this is where they need to prove you and me wrong. I agree with you. This is where they need to prove us wrong, C to the 4th. This is where they need to prove to us that it's not just about kids. Because we saw how that panned out last year, didn't we? We saw how that panned out. I don't think it's about panic yet. I just think it's all about we're seeing everyone else. Let's be fair, right? Spurs fans want to get back into the Champions League via league qualification. That's got to be, hopefully, that's the aim. But what we're doing is we're seeing everybody else in that space currently doing stuff. Let me go there. Let me go smaller and up here. No, let's do that. We're currently seeing everyone in that space do things, and we're seeing Spurs do the square root of absolutely nothing. I don't count tell. I'll say it and I'll say it again. Does nothing for me. Does not excite me in any way, shape or form. Again, I don't know if did anyone watch, let me ask this question. Did anyone watch France versus Germany last night in the under-21s? Honestly, Odegaard and Tell may as well have been sitting with me on the sofa. Just anonymous. They don't do anything. They don't offer anything as wide men. They just don't. By the way, Cookie, if you'd like to come on, feel free. He said, let's get that super chat sticker train rolling. Fun fact, if everyone stuck in £1 for a super sticker, we'd have £490 in a minute. Just saying. Big up to you, Mark. Big up to you. If you want to come on, feel free. Happy to go by myself. I always am. But if anyone did want to, then just let me know. Thank you very much. That's very generous. Also, big up to Anathi Kakanku, who has become a YouTube member. Big up to you. There'll be a channel member only show tomorrow. So the only people that can watch the show and join in are channel members. Big up to you, Anathi. Big up to you. And tell me if I've got your name right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Welcome. Welcome. Big up to Paul Watkins, who has kept the super sticker train with chewing on. If everyone puts in the pound. Just kidding. Big up to you, Paul. Always very generous. And I see that you have a new picture. Big up to you. I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs. Thank you very much. Big up to Phil Coys, who's putting on the super sticker train. Oh, dearie me. Big up to you, Phil. Thank you very much. You got your man. You got Tell on your head, be it, my man. on your head be it. Big up to you, Phil. Thank you very much. Very generous. George, channel member and one of my big mods. Big up to you, George, who has just stuck in the super sticker. Really appreciate you as well. Always very generous to me. Thank you very much. And Dean Law with the super chat. Big up to you, Dean. I said, big up, Savva. Great content I watch every day. Thank you very much. Appreciate your brutally honest outlook on Spurs. Yeah, listen, not everyone does. Not everyone likes my brutally honest outlook on Spurs. Looking forward to your new show with Sean, Lubo, and Stel, and Johnny as well, by the way, from Football Inc. Good luck, mate, and smash those likes, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, the Spurs 5, hoping to get it live mid-July. A lot to sort out to get a channel up and running, and a few surprises in store for all of you. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. Big up to you. Thank you very much, Dean. That's very, very generous. AFC Matt has carried on the super sticker train. Big up to you. How many are we going to get? Big up to you, mate. Very, very generous, even if you are a gooner. Let me know how you feeling, Matt, about your transfer business. You seem to be making moves all over Europe. Yesterday it was in the Premier League. Today it's in Spain. You're currently talking to Leipzig in Germany. You're talking to Gyökeres in Portugal. It seems like you guys are going international with your new director of football. Big up to you, Matt. Thank you very much. And Big Country Chris 4444. Big up to you. That's a new name. Big up to you, sir. Thank you very much. That is very, very generous. And I must say, I really like that name. Big Country Chris 4444. Big up to you. Really appreciate it. And the train is still going. This is going to be, are we going to have a world record? Are we going to do 505 pounds in super stickers? Neil Lambert with the super sticker. Thank you very much, my man. Very, very generous. Hope you're well, Neil. Yeah, it's an interesting one, mate, isn't it? We all want to be so optimistic. We want to be positive. We want to be happy about the transfer windows. But, you know, the previous transfer windows tell us, don't they, that we have a right to be worried. 1 second. Feel free to tell us that we do have cause to be worried, right? So, Neil, listen, I'll try and bring you as much good news as I can, my man, over the next few months. Big up to you. Thank you very much. Big up to Chris Robb, you guys. Big up to Chris Robb. Thank you very much, Chris. He's just put in a super sticker as well. Really, really generous. We've had Chris's and Matt's. Big up to you everywhere. Thank you very much, Chris. Really appreciate it, my man. That's very generous of you. As is the super sticker from Andrew Kiddle from my hometown of Lee Green. Big up to you, my man. Lee Green, it's the only place to be. Big up to you. I'm not there now, by the way. If anyone thinks that they hate me and they want to come and find me, you won't find me in Lee Green. So go to Lee Green. I am. Let's just say I'm in Lee Green. Go to Lee Green. But be careful of the Lewisham Massive. It's very scary in South London. Big up to you, Andrew Kiddle. Really appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. Big up to Phil P, who's just put in a super sticker as well. Love you, Phil. Woo! Big up to you, mate. Hope you are well. Thank you very much for all your support over the years. And I'm pretty sure our Nando's meetup is way overdue, mate. Me and Phil used to meet up regularly when we both worked in the city for a Nando's lunchtime. We'd even meet up with Henry Wright. And we'd all have a cheeky little Nando's. Henry and Phil would talk about wrestling and I don't know, nothing about it. Big up, Phil. Thank you very much. Big up to Aaron Lawrence. Very, very generous indeed. We'll get to some football content in a minute. Big up to you, Aaron Lawrence. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, my man. You're very generous as well. I hope you're well, brother. Big up to George, who's come back in with another super sticker. Very generous. Everyone's being very generous tonight. Something's in the water. Something's in the Tottenham water. By the way, Manchester City have taken the lead against Juventus. Jeremy Doku with the goal and the assist by Ait-Nouri. And Man City, good gosh, have they got a strong team. Ederson, Nunes, Diaz, Akanji, Ait-Nouri, Rodri, Silva and Reinders, Doku, Marmoush. and Savino. So big up to you, George. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, my friend. Really do. And thank you to the 2 people that just subscribed as well. Big up to Mark. Thank you very much. You said, choo choo, all aboard the Frank train. Big up to you, my man. Really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Listen, I'm aboard the Frank train. I'm driving it. You know me, I love Thomas Frank. I'm so happy we've got him. Big up to you, my man. Big up to Tot Spurs, who's also putting a super sticker and is also one of my mods and a channel member. Big up to you guys. Being very, very generous today. We've only got 156 likes though, so smash that like button, people. Thank you very much to Tot Spurs. Big up to you, my man. Big up to Philly, my brother from another mother. Hope you're well. Please get over and subscribe to his channel as well. Philly, put the link in the chat, my friend. Please get over there and subscribe to Philly. Really appreciate you, mate. And yes, the Cookmeister, we're all on board the train. Now, what fuel are we going to give the train? Are we going to give it some good fuel? Or are we going to give it some bad fuel? Let's see what Daniel Levy does. Big up to you, Mark. Thank you very much. And Dave O'Hanlon to round it all off. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Very generous, a very generous 5 to 10 minutes there of people just donating. It's very, very much appreciated. By the way, Juventus have equalised immediately, apparently, with Coop Miners. So Man City are 1-1 with Juventus. Big up to you, Dave O'Hanlon. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And if that wasn't enough, big up to Winston Lawrence, who's coming with a super sticker as well. You guys, we look like we're setting a new record as things go. I've never had this many super chats in one go. Big up to you. Thank you very much, Winston. Very, very kind. And if that wasn't kind enough, big up to Anna Dawes, who's coming with a super chat. Big up to you, Anna. Thank you. And of course, those beautiful dogs of yours. Says, evening, Savva and chat. New day, new Spurs, head-scratching moments. Anna, I think to be fair, it's new day, same Spurs, isn't it? If we're going to be brutally honest. It feels very much like it's the same Spurs, Anna. But yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of head-scratching moments at Tottenham. We're always sitting there going, what are we doing? What are we doing? But it is what it is. Big up to you, Anna. That's very generous. And then Bourbon Buzzard, who's coming as well. Big up to you. Wow, you lot have gone crazy generous today. Big up, Bourbon Buzzard. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that. And of course, you are a channel member as well. So big up to you. And if you would like to join the channel member only show, then you are more than welcome. That will be tomorrow. Big up to you. Big up to all of you lot. And big up to Amanda Lawrence. Big up, Amanda. Thank you very much. Very generous. God, you guys, have you lot all won the lottery and no one's told me? You're just sharing it out bit by bit. Big up to you, Amanda. Thank you very much. That is very, very much appreciated. Very generous of you. So thank you very much to all of those people. Let's get to the football. I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I am somebody, I try to find that balance. Sorry, let me just message Sean quickly. 1 second. 1 second. I'm somebody that tries to find that balance, people, between I want Spurs to buy better than what we have, but I'm also aware that there's kind of a limit to the kind of level of player that will join Spurs. I don't think Spurs understand that, though. It feels very much like Spurs are down here with the signings, up there when it comes to charging for everything. And I feel like we need to bring the prices a bit more in there and the level of player in there as well. It seems like we live at two opposite ends of the scale and we just kind of need to marry up there. Does that make sense? Big up to you. Big up to all of you. Let me know what you think about that. That's just me. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just not really showing a lot of, as I've always said to you, Phil, I love you, dude, but you haven't really got a lot of ambition if the best you're hoping for is Matisse Tell. It's very, very underwhelming. Let me catch up with the chat. Big up to you. Chris said, agree with your video on Elliott. Yeah, for me, I just feel like Harvey Elliott apparently is available. We're being told that Harvey Elliott is available for £40 million. I'm not going to lie to you, people. For me, £40 million, I'm all over that. I think he's a fantastic little player. He's got his experience, hasn't he? He's got his experience of playing at Liverpool for a number of years now. If I'm not wrong, he's got something like 200 first-team games under his belt in his career. 22, captain of the England under-21s, or well, he was last night, certainly. Terrific little player. Sound like Harry Redknapp. Terrific little player. I'd take him all day long. Mr. Arsenal said a big up, Savva, big up to you as well. So I don't think we will get Eze unless we sell one of Trossard or Martinelli. Listen, the way you lot are going on, we'll see. The way you lot are going on, let's see. I think Danny's going to join me. Hang on. Is this the right show? Yeah, let me send a little. Oh, hang on. Did I copy that? Yeah, let's send this to Dan E. Love a bit of Dan E time. Okay, look, there you go. There's the link that's just been sent to Danny. Big up to you. Where are we? Frank said the team are winners. Now they need to become serial winners. Now, yeah, listen, the time frame on that, I think we need to be very, very careful about. Yes, the team are winners on the basis of winning the Europa League. Are they winners on the basis of regularly winning? No. James T said, what's the biggest super sticker you've had? Heard your record is 502 for an entire show. Well, it all depends because I do a lot of charity streams. So depending on the charity streams, we've had some massive donations. The biggest super chat I've had personally is £100, I believe. The biggest one I've had is 100. We've definitely had 100 and a number of 50s. I think 100 would be the biggest super chat that I've had. Yeah. God, how long that would have been? Ages ago as well. See, I think it's that. Stuart, big up to you, my man. How you doing? Long time no see. Said, Savva, what's your thoughts on the new kit as kits go? Be good if it brought us some success. What did you all make of the kit? I think it looks interesting and I want to see it in real life. It looks a tiny bit tea towelish, doesn't it? It looks a tiny bit tea towelish. But we'll see. There's not an Eze. Here we go to Arsenal. Surely, no, there's not. But we are starting to see the first people like Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs start to talk about it. So that's a worry for me. If they do go and get Eze, I mean, first of all, they're just going to laugh in our face, aren't they? Let's be brutally honest. They're just going to laugh in our face. Second of all, isn't Eze everything Arsenal need in a number 10? Saka on the right, Eze through the middle, Barcarez or Sesko up top, with Rice and Zubimendi in the middle. Gosh, it's going to be worrying if they get him, won't it? It will be really, really worrying. Actually, Matt says at Football Heritage TV, do you think we beat you to Eze and also got our number one target and also get your number one target in Rodrigo? Listen, if you're going to shell out for Rodrigo, Eze and Sesko or Garcarez, that's the best part of about 300 million, isn't it? Or 250 million. I don't think you'll get all of them. No, I don't. But, hey, could you beat Spurs to him? Sure. It's what Spurs do. We dilly, we dally. And talking about dilly and dally, dillying and dallying, that's what I call his channel, the Spurs Talk Dilly Dally Show. Here he is, Sean Butler. And if one guest wasn't enough, look, we've got one in a lovely hat. One's got lovely glasses and the pinkest T-shirt you've ever seen. What's happening? It's all happening. How are we, chaps?
You all right?
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
So.
That is a fucking bright pink T-shirt. I've already sworn. Third word out of my mouth.
Third word out of my mouth. That is the brightest pink I've ever seen in my life. I love it. I love it.
It was the first one I could grab hold of, get out of my pajamas.
I don't think you have the same problems that I have, mate. I'm limited by the colours that I can wear because of the curves that I possess. So basically, I wear black every day because no other colour looks good on me.
I used to be like that until I lost the weight, and when you lose the weight, it's very refreshing. But when you lose the weight, you're very aware that everything you eat, you think, have I put it all back on? Like after one meal, I just feel fat every time. Guys, a Spurs style emergency meeting, of course, being very flippant, very tongue in cheek there. Dan, I'll start with you. I was streaming with a well-known Spurs YouTuber last night. He's got quite a big following, wears a flat cap, goes by the name of Sean Butler. And he assured me last night, I'm sure, and he might correct me. Did you say that Arsenal don't need Eze, or they do need Eze, and we think they might come calling? What was the...
I said, I think the words out of my mouth were, everyone thinks that this 3-tier £20 million thing is good news for Tottenham, and it might be, but actually, I think it also opens up the door to a lot of other people, such as Arsenal and possibly Manchester City. I said Manchester City could do with a 10 if you think that Cherki can play off the right, which I do. And I said, and certainly Arsenal needs someone to compete with Odegaard. And so if you think of the Arsenal 4 in the midfield now of Rice and Zubimendi, Marino and Norgard, then especially if Arsenal sell Martinelli, then there's absolutely credit in the bank for the idea of Eze. And everyone was like, no, Sean, don't say that. You've jinxed it. You've bloody jinxed it. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, 24 hours later.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I mean, look, I say that we'd be gutted. All my front door's gone. Why? Who's left my house? Well, I only live with one person, by the way. So, dogs are going for their trip to the field for some puppy training. Dan, I feel like if Eze ended up going to Arsenal, as per the Ben Jacobs news that Arsenal have added him to their list, I feel like even though he's nothing really to do with us, and even though we've never bid for him, it would feel like a massive kick in the balls, wouldn't it? If he went down to them lot.
I think you're going to get some people who will take it personally. And then I think you're also gonna get other people who are just gonna be pissed off, like, well, we should have gone for him a year ago. And then you're gonna have other people who are gonna scrape it up for every bit they can to throw it at a different person, basically. That's how I see that one. He's someone we should have had. As far as we know, Ange didn't want him. Fair enough. Would we have got him? The way Levy works, I struggle to believe that Ange even had the option of getting him. But rumours are rumours. You believe what you wish to believe. I still think out of the majority of the bigger teams, we are the team that needs him most. We are the team that he walks straight into. So a lot of this can also come down to on the player's mentality. What sort of person he is? What does he actually want? Now, if we do put in the bids for him, and Arsenal do, and Man City do, and say all the wages are kept within considerable close of each other, then it obviously comes down to what the player wants to do. Does he want to go and win everything? He goes Man City. But if he blatantly goes Man City, he's going to be playing. He'll be lucky if he's playing a third of the games that he'll be playing at Spurs. If he goes to Arsenal, he's got more chance of winning something, but he's still going to be fighting tooth and nail every 5 minutes to get a place. So I think a lot of it comes down onto the mentality of the player. What does he actually want to do? I mean, you'd think a sensible player, straight, yeah, I'll go Man City and win everything. But then maybe he wants to play. Maybe he wants to play every game. So maybe he'd put Man City aside and he'd look more at Spurs and Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know what his mentality is like.
Sean, let me ask you then. I mean, Dan brings up a good point. I mean, hypotheticals. We love a hypothetical, Sean. Tottenham, Man City and Arsenal. Lovely position for Eze and his agent to be in. What's the considerations? Yeah. Where do you go? Do you look around at Arsenal and go, well, hang on, I'm going to be playing with Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Gyökeres and Sesko? Or do you look at Spurs and go, I'm going to be playing with Bergvall, Brennan Johnson, Solanke? Is there that consideration as well? How do you see it?
I think we get Xavi Simons for what it's worth. Okay. And I'm absolutely fine with that. I think that Xavi Simons is I prefer Xavi Simons, the footballer, to Eze. I love Eze, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Eze solves what we need in a left winger. And I think like I said, let's say this last night. I think that Eze played like 80-90% of his minutes as a 10 that drifted left, and we're expecting him to play as a left that drifts into the middle. I don't think that necessarily solves the same size of hole as we need elsewhere. Xavi Simons has played as many minutes on the left wing as he has in the centre for in Germany. I think there's an unknown about the transition to the Premier League as a step up.
That's the Dutch fella in Germany, isn't it?
Yeah. He's such a sexy baller. That what he can do with the ball, I think he's better on the ball, and I think he has slightly better acceleration. He's probably not as physically strong as Eze, but I'd be happy with either of them. I really would be happy with either of them, but I think Eze is going to be more expensive. And I know it's going to go down like a shit sandwich with Tottenham fans because everyone's married to Eberechi Eze. But if he goes to Arsenal, okay, yes, it's definitely a kick in the teeth. I doubt he'll go to Manchester City. I don't think he would. So if it's a shootout between Arsenal and Tottenham, take your Tottenham hat off and probably go to Arsenal because I don't think it's the same. I think that he can like Arsenal fans don't really rate Martinelli. I think they're silly not to because I think Martinelli's a very good player. But for me, I think he's probably. If I was a neutral, I'd probably think that the better option would be for him to go to Arsenal, probably earn more money there as well, and he's got a better chance of success, right? Which is what he probably wants. So, but like I say,
if he goes there, Sean, I mean. I think he's levels above Odegaard, by the way.
Exactly, 100%.
Different types of 10. And Odegaard's more of a want the ball, dictate play. But I think Eze will give the Arsenal fans what they crave in terms of goals and assists.
Big game player, and he's a big game player. Odegaard isn't. Yeah. Odegaard goes missing in all the big games, and Eze steps up in all the big games. So I think Arsenal fans would fall in love with Eze very, very quickly. I think Tottenham fans would take it very personally. I think there'd be an absolute meltdown. Like there's a meltdown every day in the Tottenham fan base, but this one would be crazy. But if you reach Eze and you land on a Simmons, it's not the end of the world. He is an absolute cracking player. So as long as you get one of those, as long as we get one of the names that we're linked with, mate, I'll be okay. If we don't get any of them and we land and we end up with someone else, then then there'll be problems. But I don't think the world our entire window shouldn't evolve around Eberechi Eze.
Yeah, we've all kind of positioned ourselves to there already, though, haven't we, Sean? Do you know what I mean? Like, and Dan, let me bring you back in here. We do seem very, very obsessed at the moment with Eze, but let's be fair. If we woke up tomorrow and Xavi Simons had been bought instead, I don't think many of us are going to come on going, we got Simons. But won't other clubs be looking at him as well? I mean, is this the problem Tottenham are facing now?
Yeah.
Well, is this the problem?
Yeah, I think the other thing with this is, where do I start here? How do I put this? I think a lot of this with Eze and Simons, you put them next to each other. I mean, I don't know as much about Simons as Eze, but I've seen him play a couple of times. Good player from what I've seen, and seen him play in the national team as well. This is where I think you go for Eze. He's got that 68 million buyout clause, and whatever deal you get with him, what deal are you going to get for Simons? Because at the moment,
apparently 50 million quid can get him.
Yeah, so I know where I'd be looking in that aspect. At the problem, the system hasn't kicked off yet, has it? Really? I mean, all right, Liverpool have gone out and spent a bloody lot of money, but you look how much money they've basically saved up over the past 2 seasons. They barely spent anything over the past 2 and then had the whole lot after winning the league. Yeah. And it's sort of waiting for the money year to kick in, which is usually, is in the first week of July, something like that, or the first couple of days of July. Like England's April, isn't it, basically? That's... with football, that's July, if I remember right, sort of thing. The money year starts.
1st of July, the financial year starts.
Yeah, 1st of July. Yeah, I knew it was in the first week. Yeah, so 1st of July, the money year starts. So I think there's a few teams hanging about for the start of the money year so that one bit don't cross over to another, whatever else. I think there's a lot more going on in the background than a few people might actually be realising because they've got to wait for the right time to do it. because otherwise it interferes with what's happened this year and whatever else. That's when it all comes down to basically the economy, isn't it? Whoever you're going to get as an English player, you're always going to be playing 25% extra on top of it anyway. Simmons, would we be able to get him? Well, pretty much every other league in this country is in serious trouble. French, German, Spanish is not doing well for itself, considering how big it has teams in there. German isn't doing it in particular well. I think there's only 2 teams in Germany that are safe on the money side, and that's Munich and Leipzig. Apart from that, well, Leverkusen got a bit now. But a lot of the leagues are not safe at the moment. Things aren't safe out there. And if there is ever a time to go out there, and if we don't necessarily look at Eze and start looking for a good player, maybe going for even cheaper, now is the time to do it.
Well, you just led me on nicely, because Sean, if ever there was news to your hero's ears, Daniel Levy, you know, as the leader of the Daniel Levy fan club, 2 days ago, Lyon being relegated to League 2, I believe. League 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to appeal. And then, like clockwork, 24 hours later, today is rife with Tottenham are going to make a bid for, let me make sure I get his name right, for Georgia's Mikotadze. I'm not sure how to say his name.
Yeah, Mikotadze. Jorge Mikotadze. He's class as well, mate. He's a really, really classy. I've never spent as much time looking at a player, because like Perchy's text me saying, I saw you on your first video this morning when you were calling out Levy. You mentioned at the end that you were going to do a video about Jorge Mikotadze, and I was like, yeah. And I said, I haven't done the video yet, and he said, do you not know of him? I said, I've heard the name, but no, I don't really remember. He's like, do you not remember him from the Euro 24 tournament? I was like, mate, I was in the middle of getting hacked and things. I wasn't really paying attention to international football, so no, I don't. I said, but then I went after the text. I went and did I usually spend 20 minutes on the Y Scout running through a player that I'm not that familiar with, just to get a sort of an overview of him. I spent about an hour looking at this guy. He's such a nice guy to watch. The things that he can do, his creativity, the way that he, like the last pass you'd expect him to do, given 4 options, he chooses the 5th, and it's the most difficult, but he finds it like he just creates space. He's got an unbelievable finish on him. I really, really, really wouldn't mind if we got him as well. Really wouldn't mind it.
Well, I've just had a look, and I remember seeing him play for Georgia in the Euros, and I thought, okay, yeah, good player. But you know, sometimes you see a player in a tournament. Sometimes it's really difficult to judge someone off of a 3 or 4 game tournament where you go, oh my God, they're amazing. But even then, I'm looking at him. You know, he's got 37 caps for Georgia, 20 goals. Last season for Lyon, he got 11 goals and 6 assists in 34 games. So he's got a goal contribution every other game. And Lyon are going to have to sell players if they're going down to League 2. There are
apparently
that don't
something
stay.
dropped tonight. I've pinned it on my tweet. Let me get it up. Pause. There's where is it? Tell me I've saved it. Did I not save it? Damn it, I might not have saved it. Here we go. It's been revealed that many Lyon players have a clause that states if relegated, they will be released for the following prices: Malik Fofana, 30 million euros; Thiago Almada, 25 million, but that can't be true because he's actually on loan from Botafogo; Jorge Mikotadze, 22 million euros; Musa Niakate, 15 million euros; and Corentin Tolisso, 12 million euros. I don't know who those last 2 players are. I'm not sure if there's truth to it, but because it probably sounds wrong actually, because Almada, for example, isn't actually a Lyon player. But look, Mikotadze, if you can get him for 18 million pound, mate, if there's any truth to that, he's a really really cultured player. Really nice.
This is the time to do some serious shopping. I mean, it's even been pretty much not far from admitted on the news that I've read on a lot of things that the problem with the money at the moment is it's coming down to the TV problems at the moment, because the price that people will pay for the Premier League, the money that Sky are paying for the Premier League, adds up to more expensive than Italian, Spanish, French, and German all put together.
Yeah.
You know, and that is destroying the system. I think we're about to hit a brick wall, basically, where prices of things are going to have to change, of players and whatever else in that, because I think you're going to see a very, very big problem in money soon.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I agree with you. I think it's getting worse and worse for some of these countries. I mean, just so everyone's aware, by the way, I've seen a few people talk about this guy in the chat. He has actually gone today, which is Voldemort Day, or however you say his name. Yeah, he has just
play as well.
Agreed terms with Bayern Munich until 2030. So he'll be learning off a certain Mr. Harry Kane. You know, I'm sure now we're going to go, oh my God, Bayern Munich, they've signed a striker. Is Harry coming back? A player I wanted to talk to you guys about.
That's definitely going to happen.
I don't think Harry's coming back. We would all. Do you know what? If Daniel Levy though wanted
like
to,
my thumbnail guy, can you please get me a picture of Savva's face and Harry Kane's face coming home soon?
Savva said that he knows someone who knows Harry Kane's agent. Listen, if Daniel Levy, by the way, wanted to shut the whole fan base up, that is the way to do it. Bring Harry home. We wouldn't care. On another note, a player that I really like, that I think fits the bill for Tottenham, guys, and I'd just like to get your opinions. Maybe people don't like him as much as I do. I really like a player that's out of favour at Liverpool in terms of first team, and I think would slot in brilliantly at Spurs, and that's Harvey Elliott, who, for me, is at that right age now, with enough games under his belt, got enough experience. He's got experience now of winning every trophy whilst being at Liverpool. Got that little bit of, I like that little bit of attitude he's got in him. Some people think it's bad attitude. I think you need a little bit of it, that bit of fight, that bit of spark. Can play in multiple positions in midfield. And apparently, biggest word in football, apparently, they want £40 million. What are we saying to Harvey Elliott?
Snatch him straight up. He is one that you look at. I mean, me personally, I would snatch him straight up and he walks into that first team straight away. Give me any midfielder you want. We've got. I'll take Harvey Elliott over them all day long.
What do you like about him, Dan? I know what I like. What do you like about him as a footballer?
There's a couple of things I like about him. I like his attitude. He's a prick, and he knows it, and he likes being it. He's got that little attitude on him of, you go for his kneecaps, he'll come for yours. He won't just hit the floor and cry like a Maddison or other players that we got that do it. He's no one's little bitch. I like he's got the bottle to try things as well, but then he's also got the sensibility not to be stupid with it as well. I think he's quite safe on the ball. I think his passing's pretty solid. I think he's quite a good all-round player sort of thing. And there's a couple of positions he can handle. And personally, I just think he's one of them ones that's going to get better, significantly better. I do actually think 40 million, I'd snatch him straight up.
Well, let me ask you then, Sean, what do you think of Elliott? Because for me, I feel like he ticks every box. Premier League proven, he's English, he's from London. Yeah, he's young, but at 22, he's not. Yeah, he's an old young one, if that makes sense, Sean. He's been playing for the first team since he was 16. So, what do you make of Harvey Elliott?
Yeah. Again, like I think, like I've got no problem with him coming. I like him. I think he's a really good player. I don't disagree. I think he's feisty. He's got a lovely range of passing on him, and he can get stuck into a tackle as well, like Dan was saying. You know, he's just a decent all-rounder. I do think he would be underwhelming for the fans. I think that they would. Again, it's one of those kind of those things where people go, if his name was like Elliotini or something, people would go, yeah,
I agree,
and pay twice as much, please, just to make sure it sounds like he's a really good player. But actually,
if you can get, I like that.
If you can get him, what was the price point you said he's available for?
Apparently £40 million. I've seen that Liverpool, apparently they want him, but he's at the stage where he wants to be a first team regular. And then he goes and sees them this window already by Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
You know, you're running out of positions, aren't you, to play in?
If we're willing to spend 40 million on Archie Gray, for God's sake, yeah, or 30 million a player, whatever it bloody was, yeah, that should just be, you shouldn't even think twice about that one. I think Harvey Elliott, I think he would walk into our team. I mean, you can play him up on the right, he can play in the middle. You can play him as a 10. No, he's not quite a playmaker like Maddison as such, but I think he's definitely a significant better playmaker than Kula or anyone else we got there. I'd quite happily play him centre mid over Bentancur, Basuma, or Sarr or whatever. I think he's significantly better than anything we've got in midfield. Personal opinion. He's actually one of the younger players. I mean, 22 for me ain't a kid, but people would still say he's younger. So I say he's one of the younger players that I think he's quite underrated.
I'm surprised actually his versatility and he's probably not like I don't know if this is unfair on either player, but when Ange Postecoglou wanted Conor Gallagher for the fact that he could do a little bit of everything, and he didn't get him because he was a Chelsea boy. I'm surprised maybe we didn't go for like Harvey Elliott. Then that wouldn't have been a bad sort of a bad a fill-in, if you like, because the guy can be. For me, I think he's the most. When I've seen him, and I think he's been most impressive. I've seen him in the 8 role, sitting there and holding and getting back and being the kind of creator, but from a little bit deeper. But then I've also seen him put in some really top performances when he's been shoehorned out to the right side as well, in the right wing role when Salah's come off late in games and stuff. He's
he just doesn't seem to score many though. That's the only thing with him that I've noticed.
But it's hard to stand out, isn't it, in a team of superstars? It's hard to be able to kind of like carve out your own space amongst there. So like I feel like those sorts of players, maybe if they go to a slightly smaller club and then get the game time, they can just be a player that's respected, appreciated, and it's kind of almost like what Scott McTominay's done, like in going when he went to Napoli and just kind of just excelled in a different sort of world. Because I think at Manchester United, most English fans and United fans kind of sort of disrespected him. So I'm not saying that that's the same with Liverpool fans and Harvey Elliott, but I just think if you look around the Liverpool squad, he's never going to get that recognition that he does as anything more than a good squad player because of just the obscene talent they've got all over the park.
Well, look at the excess skill they've got around the place, isn't it? I mean, and for anyone who tells me on here Harvey Elliott ain't worth 40 million, then mate, go and watch some football. Seriously, go and watch him play. Yeah, you obviously don't watch it enough. Again, if Archie Gray is 40 million and even Odegaard is 30 million, and then Harvey Elliott should be 60 million for God's sake. 40 million is a steal as far as I'm concerned for him. If we're going with this youth project, if that is what we're actually doing and Levy is going to do, we're not going to change that, So we needed to get a manager in who can deal with the cards he's given. If that is how we're going to do it, then go and bloody do it. We can't change that. But then go and do it with some worthwhile players. He's got the experience. He can blatantly do it. He's got the right mentality for it as it comes across. Obviously, I don't know how he thinks, but I can only judge by how he plays and that. Really, he would be perfect for this project.
But I've seen
if this is the project, if it is the project, I don't know.
Class, there's a lot of people in the chat saying he's not worth 40 million. What I don't understand is in this day and age, where I'm seeing Yao Pedro, 65 million, Semenyo, 65 million, Eze, 68 million. Everyone seems to be 65. This is a boy that, by the way, at the age of 22, Sean, he's got 193 first-team Premier League appearances under his belt. That's a lot of appearances at the age of 22. He's
at
got
Liverpool.
Experience at Liverpool. He's got experience of winning. He's got experience of playing with the best players: Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alisson. And we've got fans going, he's not worth 40 million. I do question our fan base at times. I'm not going to lie. I know that doesn't get me brownie points, boys. But if someone said 40 million for Elliott, we just paid 40 million for Tell. Why would we pay that for Gray? Why would we not pay that for Harvey Elliott? I'm a bit baffled.
Again, and then people like they're already doing in the chat will start coming up with reasons like, oh, he's not as quick as this. Oh, I think this player's better. Oh, I think that player's better. Did anyone actually watch any of our players play this year? Okay, no. I know the manager did not help that situation in the way he played them and that, but the players themselves at times have had an abysmal season as well. If you're willing to accept some of the players that we've got, then you've surely got to look at Harvey Elliott and say he walks into that first team.
Are we actually linked with him?
I've seen a few publications, Sean, but I think it's the same as anything, right? Look, I'll be honest. A lot of it was me putting I spoke about him last week and then watched him play yesterday for England under-21s, where I thought he stood out. He stands out like a sore thumb for the under-21s. And I just sat there and I thought, he's a London boy. And I think we can offer him the game time that I don't think Liverpool will be able to now. Liverpool have got Gravenberch, McAllister, Endo, Curtis Jones, Soboslai, Florian Wirtz. It's a lot of footballers. I just can't see a downside. I think he's worth more than 40 million. I think 40 million is a bargain for him. But I don't know. I don't know what we want.
Also matches, again, if we are on this project as such, yeah, of going for younger players, building it up, whatever else in that, he matches everything. And the price of 40 million for him, for me, that's a bit of a steal. If people are still willing to sit here and stick up for bloody Archie Gray and that, then it just goes without saying, go for him. I don't see why not. I'm not saying he's a world-class player or nothing, but for me, he walks into that first team easy. No, he's not a goal scorer. That's probably the only thing that lets him down. But he makes up for that in a lot of other ways. He's a worker on the ball. He's a worker getting around the place. I think he reads the game very well. I mean, he can play on the side. He's not a wing or whatever. I know that. But I honestly think he's a very good player. And he suits this, if it is the project, he suits it down to a T. And I would quite happily take him into the team.
You guys see much about this Oliver Boast guy?
Yeah, I saw that today. Was he the 16-year-old from Leeds?
Yeah.
That's a Spurs signing if you've ever seen one, isn't it?
I mean, he hasn't signed a professional contract, so we basically just raided them again. Is this going to get a £1 million compensation fee or something? It's I don't know. I've got no idea what the kid's like, to be honest. But apparently, he was playing. In the under 21s at the age of 15 for Leeds.
Right. I've not seen him play.
I don't know anything about him, to be honest. I'm not even sure what position he is, to be honest. Is he a striker?
I think he's a striker from what I said earlier. Yeah, just honestly, when I read, do you ever get this, Sean, in your chat, Dan, in your chat? You know, when you talk about a player and the chat is so divided on a player that you think, how is everyone watching the same footballer? Do you know what I mean? Like, some people are going, oh my God, Elliott's brilliant. Get him in, 40 million's a bargain. What a player, technically good. Does this, does that. Other people going, he's shit. He doesn't do anything. He's like Harry Winks. I'm like, what are we doing here?
It reminds me a bit of a manager we had not long ago at home. And
that's the beautiful thing though about football, isn't it? I love that. I love the fact that there's no topic that everyone universally agrees on.
I think that's something a lot of people need to actually look on football, yeah, that a majority of it is actually opinionated. All three of us can sit here and watch a game, and I guarantee I'll spot 2 or 3 things in that game that you two do not see. But then Savva will do exactly the same, and you'll do exactly the same, Sean. I won't see those 2 things that you see. I won't see those 2 things that Savva. That is the beauty of football. But then it's also down to how people watch football. Some people just watch it as a football match, a game. I don't. I watch it a lot deeper than that. I like digging into the tactics. I like checking out what goes on with players over there, what they've got to do when they're there, what they got to do when they're here. I'll see things like that other people who are just watching it for the football match won't see, which don't mean they're not into football any less than, but it's...
Do you know what, it's weird though, right?
Like, everyone sees football in a different way.
From game to game, I can like walk away from some games and be feeling like I'm entirely taking everything in, but walk away going, I don't really know what happened. Like I'm watching, but I'm not paying attention, or I don't know, or I'm watching, but I'm not seeing, or I'm seeing, but I'm not watching. And then other games, I feel like I'm absorbing shit that's going off in the peripherals without even paying attention, without even deliberately doing it. And I hear what you're saying, like in terms of like everyone watches the game differently, but I think even individuals can be like dialed in at different levels depending on where, you know, on different. I'm not sure if I'm making sense to myself here. I'm boring myself speaking, so I'm going to stop talking.
No, I get what you're saying. Look, let's bring it back to things that we are linked with, guys. Straight away, the links have been massive in the last 24, 48 hours with Kyle Walker-Peters, which I don't think anyone's going to be shocked that those links are massively there. He was released by Southampton officially 2 days ago. And there's been loads of conversations about homegrown, club trained. If ever I've seen a deal, Sean, that looks like a Tottenham Hotspur deal, I hate to say it, but Kyle Walker-Peters feels that. No disrespect to the lad. It just looks like English, club trained, homegrown, right back, left back, knows the club, free transfer,
cheap
wages
wage.
I can't imagine will be
20 grand a
extortionate.
week, 20 or 30 grand a week. Yeah.
I fully expect him to sign Sean. If he does, do you think this one's going to be more about the optics, mate? And I always talk about optics, i.e., if he came through the door this week, fans are going to riot. Danso, Tell, Takai, Walker-Peters, as opposed to
Oliver Boast, yeah.
Oliver Boast, as opposed to go and get 2 or 3 first teamers, then in a month go, by the way, just, kind of slip it in under the radar. P.S. We've also signed Walker-Peters.
Sign the deal, get the paperwork done, right? Get the picture in your iCloud account or whatever of him holding up the shirt, ready to drop on August the 10th. But and then send them away on holiday for a little while, because you need to get. You can't announce that one next. You can't announce it next, even if it's done next. You can't announce it next. The meltdown will ensue,
right?
But yeah, it does make sense for all the reasons you just laid out. There's absolutely no logic. There's no reason why it wouldn't happen. None at all.
Yeah,
but it's a shame because I was really hoping that Tottenham would sign that Jarell Hato. I really like him, but not going to happen.
I've seen he's also linked with Liverpool and Arsenal. Though the problem is, have you noticed these players seem to be linked with the same 4 or 5 clubs, and most of the time it's the Premier League clubs that have got the spondulas. Dan, can you see it happening? Do you feel like that one's? I feel like that one's almost done. Like I feel like that's been in the offing for a year, if I'm honest.
What one's that?
Kyle Walker-Peters.
I think that one's done and dusted. I think that one's already through, basically. I don't think it's a bad idea. Again, for me, it's a backup player, not a first-team player, not what I want, but we do need squad players. And he ticks the points of other things we do need, as in English player, homegrown, and everything else. And on a freebie, I'm not going to complain with that. But I need to see at least 1 or 2 is what I want to see, players that walk into that first team. But I think that one's already a done and dusted deal, personally. Just got to sign the last bit. Personal opinion.
No, I agree. It just feels very much like it's done. I'm also thinking that if Ben Davies is staying, it kind of looks like that's going to be your backup left back. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. I haven't seen any links to any other left back.
There'll be no more centre backs now. We've been linked with that Lukumi, who's a centre back that can play on the left. We've been linked with a few, and the guy Lyon as well. Lukumi and Lyon, both young centre backs. One of them's out of Parma, one of them's out of Genoa, I think. But I just can't imagine we're going to do any more defensive business. Like, you'll get Kyle Walker-Peters, and then we're good in that department unless Romero leaves.
Do you think they're replacing with no Sean?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. Don't think there's enough centre? I feel like we've got 4,000 centre backs.
Yeah, they'll replace him with Takai, and then we'll go and get a 17-year-old in from Finland, as one for the future.
How many of the centre backs are we actually going to use as well? How many of them are actually ready?
Honestly, mate, we are stockpiling. I was about to say something really inappropriate there, but we've got so many kids, haven't we? It's getting to the point where we're over the top now. I totally get it. The pivot, everyone's buying young up because that's where the value is. And if 2 of them explode, then you pay for the whole thing. I totally get it. But we got enough, haven't we? We have enough, and we've got a youth team that's developing all these apparent wonder kids as well. We've got enough 17, 18-year-olds to fill out a nightclub. It's time now to go and fish in a different pond, the over 25 pond, and hopefully no one else is fishing.
I hope there's some girls in that nightclub, not just all of our young lads. That would be
exactly. There's one girl in there, and we're all
sausage fest.
Yeah, we're all going up one at a time, doing our own little dance.
You'd walk in with your mates and go, "Nah, lads, this isn't it. This ain't it. This ain't it."
You're walking back out. Look, when it goes for going with some of the younger players, yeah. Like with a fella we just got. I mean, what was it from Japan, China, whatever it was?
Takai from Japan.
5 million. Do you know what? I can't say I care. I can't say I'm that bothered because the whole thing contradicts itself when people complain about it. Basically, no, it's not the sort of player we need here and now. Yeah, but if we're getting him in for 5 million and then actually gonna stick him out on loan for a season or two, do I care that we've spent 5 million on him? No, I don't. Because we keep going off our heads on a matter that all these other clubs, even down to Chelsea and Man City, get younger players in and then go sell them for 40, 50 million or whatever, or people like Brighton and other countries and whatever, getting the young players and find the good young players and make something of them in a season or two. Why don't we do that? Well, then we go and do something like that. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to end up, but then everyone still goes off their head about it. Everyone's been complaining that we don't do that. Well, we've gone and done it now. Well, and the fact that he only cost 5 million, I couldn't really care less. Fine, 5 million, do it. If it turns out that he's good enough to play, then so be it. If he needs to go on loan for 2 years and he becomes good, so be it. It's when you go and spend 30, 40 million on a player that's 18, that is when people start looking. And I don't mean to keep turning back to that one. But people have been complaining for a long time that we don't actually do that. Well, we've just gone and done it. Make your mind up. We don't know how he's going to turn out. But 5 million for a youth, it's a bit of a no-lose situation as far as I'm concerned.
I've said, Dan, I've said that I've seen the videos that everyone else has and he looks decent. Obviously, there's very big difference between watching videos and seeing them play live. But for me, I'm not going to lose my mind over that because it was 5 million. Because let's be fair, 5 million is what you pay in a bonus to somebody, right? But as we always bring it back, I know our mate Lubo won't be happy with this, but as we always bring it back, if we had paid 5 million for Gray, I wouldn't be giving him any jip at all as well. Do you know what I mean? If we had paid 5 million for Gray, I wouldn't care. And
that's not Gray's fault. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It's 40 million and it makes you look more than once, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People have wanted us to do this for a long time. I know we need the players for the team right now. But then another thing people complain about is why can't we do two things at the same time? Well, you don't know what's going on behind whatever else. I think as soon as it hits July, you're going to see some things start rolling over the Premier League as a whole sort of thing. It's going to be one hit and then you're going to see a domino effect on it as such. I just don't see why people get angry about that one because it's 5 million. Who gives a monkeys, basically? If we end up sticking him straight on loan, well, that's what we were saying. He should have done with Bergvall and Gray. Stuck him out on loan straight away. It turns out that Bergvall's worked all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we're saying now that Gray should go on loan.
Talking about things that have worked out all right, guys, there's 800 of you in here right now, exactly, and only 300 likes. Smash that button. Go on, Sean.
Sorry, guys, I got to jump my thing starting, so I'll send you a link, guys, if you want to come over when you're done. More than welcome.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Sean, give me 10, 15. I'll send everyone over. Send me the link. I'll join the show.
Appreciate you, boys. Love you all.
Send us the link.
See you soon, guys.
So, guys, if you stick here for 10 minutes, we'll all go over to Sean's channel in 10 minutes or so. Just before we do, guys and girls, are we really operating at a 3 in 8 strike rate? 3 in 8 strike rate. I expect that from Troy Parrott. Smash that button. Just quickly, some super chats. Big up to Dave Jones. These guys today, Dan, have been very generous with a super sticker and the super chat train. And we are only 10 subscribers away from 18.7K. So we're 310 subscribers away from 19,000. Big up to Dave Jones, Spurs. Really appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much for that. Andrew Kiddle, who's from Lee Green. Big up Lee Green. Not too far from us, Dan, is it? Down there in Lee Green. Said, if we don't get Eze, who do we go for if Kudus or Simons don't want us? Do we try to get Gibbs White, Morgan Rogers or Elliott? Well, for me, I'm going to rule out Morgan Rogers. I can't see any way Villa entertain it. And I can only imagine the price they will slap on Morgan Rogers' head. I think they will want 75, 80 million. He is a top player who's getting better and better, and he's only been there 18 months. Gibbs White, why are they going to sell him cheap? Again, he's going to be another one I think we're going to end up paying big. Elliott, for me, makes sense. I'd take him. Dan, do you agree with that summarization or anything you want to disagree on?
No, just again, do you know what? That's quite an annoying thing at the moment. There isn't really much to disagree on. There really isn't. And that's the thing at the moment. Maybe I want to sit here and have a debate and an argument, whatever, but there really isn't that much to debate and argue on at the moment because he's moving pretty slow at the moment. Like I said, I just think it's going to hit July, and I think something's going to happen, and then the dominoes effect is going to come on. I think if we want to do some serious shopping and get some serious deals out there, we need to look out in Italy. We need to look out in France. We need to have a look over in Germany because, like I said, the economy at the moment is absolutely screwed. If people do some checking up on what's going on at the moment, the fact that it costs more to get the Premier League on TV than it does to get the Dutch, Spanish, Italian, and French, and all together, that's telling you that there's a problem in the economy as far as I'm concerned. There's about two countries in each place that can still afford to run as such. So I think we need to go shopping in another country. I think that's what we should do.
I completely agree with you. And I can't believe we're not. But yeah, absolutely. I would happily take the Lyon guy. I would absolutely have him. Big up, Andrew. Big up to you in Lee Green. John Lee. By the way, I did grow up in Lee Green, Dan, so I know it very, very well. Blame my mum for bringing me up in Lee Green. John Lee, thank you very much. I said, Savva, why? What do you mean? Well, I haven't done anything yet. Liverpool willing to sell Elliott for 40 million. Why not asking for 55 for him? Which club in the market is willing to buy him for 40 million? I would think there'd be a number of suitors that would quite like the look of Harvey Elliott. I think what we've got to remember in this day and age, John, homegrown players are normally very expensive. 40 million these days for a player isn't really a lot. I know that sounds mad, and I know in real life it sounds huge, but 40 million, homegrown, experience, 200 games under his belt, 1 titles, 1 cups. For me, I think many will.
I think that sounds quite cheap for him, if you're asking me. I mean, I'm not saying he's a 60 million player or whatever, but you asked me 40 million for him. I think that's more than a respectable price if that is his actual price. Like you said, with the experience he's actually got on him, we went and paid 40 million for someone who'd never even played in a big league, for God's sake. And so I just can't see how people can even question that for 40 million. Even 50 million. Okay, we could go out and look elsewhere for that sort of money. But again, he ticks everything that Tottenham seems to want, and he's actually a good player.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. And John, thank you very much for the super chat. Gary Morton Barley out there in Dublin has said, Thomas Frank thinking, what the fuck have I done, do you reckon? Listen, Thomas Frank would listen, we don't know what's going on. Thomas Frank would have, he said that he made demands, right? He said that he wanted assurances. So he'll know exactly what he's walking into. I think sometimes when we have a pop at Levy and we say things like, oh, he screwed someone else over, I think he would absolutely know what he's walked into. Let's see what happens, Gary. Let's see what happens. I think he knows exactly what he's walked into. Got to remember, he's come from Brentford. So whatever Spurs do will be better than what Brentford have done, right? The caliber of players he's going to be having, the training ground, the facilities, the stadium, everything's going to be that next, well, I say that next level from Brentford, but quite a few runs above. Big up to you, Gary. Really appreciate that. Rich with the super sticker. Thank you very much, Rich. We've had a right super sticker party today. Big up to you. Really appreciate that. And Dan Bowers. Is that Dan or Dane? Have you just missed the E off? Are you part of, what was Dane Bowers? Another level? Was Dane Bowers another level? Anyway, as said, Elliott only started 2 games and played a total of 360 minutes last season in the league. He's a good player, but he doesn't move the needle enough. Dan, I think that's something Danny said earlier in the show. I feel like as Spurs fans, we sit and watch our players week in, week out. And then the number of players that we're linked to where we go, they don't move the needle. I don't think a lot of the players we've got. Like, I feel like he walked straight into our 11 for me. So I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. And you've got to remember, the reason he's going to find game time hard to come by, he's playing at Liverpool. They're the best. That's the benchmark. They're the best in the country right now. You
Name
know,
one of our team that would even get in Liverpool's midfield as a sub.
no one.
Are you telling
No
me
one.
Sar's going to be on Liverpool's midfield? Are you going to tell me Bentancur's going to be on there? Are you telling me Bergvall's going to get in Liverpool's midfield? No, not a chance in hell. The fact that he can even get into Liverpool as a sub and see a certain amount, about 18 games, 20 odd games he played this season, whatever, tells you something on its own. I don't think one of our midfield even gets into Liverpool's sub team for midfield. Maybe I'm exaggerating there, but that's my opinion.
Not, mate, I agree with you. I think they're superior in every way. I mean, I'm just looking at Harvey Elliott now on Transfer Market. Look, I think sometimes what we've got to remember, guys, as well, when we look at players and how many games they've played and how many minutes and yada, 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 you've got to remember that sometimes when players make a move, they get that new energy. It rejuvenates them. You know, it's, hang on, this is my time to shine. I'm going somewhere where I'm a bigger fish in a smaller pond. At Liverpool, he's a small fish in a ginormous pond. I like him. I think that
I do.
As a Spurs fan base where we've got players like Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Papa Sarr, Archie Gray, Odegaard and Tell, I can't turn my nose up at people like Harvey Elliott in any way, shape or form. That's the way I see it. Big up. Thank you very much for that chat. I just do think, I do think it's interesting. By the way, the game is it's getting younger. The next Ballon d'Or winner could be under 20 years old. Yeah, but surely there you're talking about your Mao, who's an anomaly, right? Surely we're talking about your Mao there as the next Ballon d'Or winner. How many Maos are there in the world? Like, what are we doing here? Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, okay, Harvey Elliott, he's no, he's not an Eze, not yet. But again, are we even going? We should be going for players like Eze. That is what we should be doing. But that is that word at Spurs. Should. We should be doing a lot of things, but don't. If we're not actually going to look at an Eze, Harvey Elliott is one that I'd quite happily go for. Yeah, I'd rather have Eze. Give me the choice. I'll take both of them in, and I think they both walk into our first team.
Yeah, listen, as I said, Dan, I can't look at the number of average footballers that I see week in, week out in a Spurs shirt and turn my noses up at the number of players. And Dan, this is exactly what happened last year. You and I sat there and we talked about Manu Kone. Oh, God, wouldn't want him. We talked about Livramento. Oh, we wouldn't want him. We talked about Locatelli, Sander Berg. All these players, our fans go, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. I'm sitting and watching Archie Gray. I'm watching Brennan Johnson and Solanke, Tell, Odegaard. Sorry, Dan, can you hold the fort? My phone's got my
it's fine. It's fine. I do think just a few people need to look at this a bit realistically. I mean, all right, when you've got a player that you're set on that you want in your team. Now, I think this team we got is significantly better than the way it played last season. I think a lot of the majority of it was down to tactics. Some of it you can put on the players, but either way. But you look at some of those players we've got. Like I said, you name me one of those midfielders we've got that gets into Liverpool's team. You tell me one of them that Liverpool would even put on the bloody subs bench for their team unless they had no one there. And then people defend players that we've got, but then say that we need new players. Harvey Elliott, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not saying he's a world-class player or nothing. I think there's a hell of a lot of potential on him to get even better. But I think we go and put Harvey Elliott in there. Bergvall can say goodbye to his place, or Bentancur can say goodbye, or Sarr can say goodbye. Archie Gray will never get a C into midfield. He's better than any midfielder we've got, in my opinion. Centre mid. I mean, all right, if you want a playmaker, then Maddison still gets that place. And whenever he's played, he's been consistent as well.
Yeah.
But how do we sit there and rip into players left, right, and centre, saying they're not good enough for us when you look at some of what we've actually got and what they actually, I say what they do, more like what they don't do. Each their own at the end of the day, I suppose, whatever turns you on.
Sometimes there are players out there that need to find the club where they settle and become a main player. Right. And I think he's at the right age to do that. But listen, this isn't just about him. As we said, look, I was going to say, if you're a YouTuber, which we are, it baffles me the number of comments I see daily about players that people wouldn't want at Tottenham. And yet we're watching Spurs every week going, oh, Levy doesn't back the manager, but yet no player's better than the players we've got. I find it all very backwards, Dan. I really do find it backwards. We do. So, like, Elliott, nothing special. I mean, like, well, yeah, but who is special in our team? Why does everyone have to be special, by the way? Surely you want consistency. Why do they all have to be special?
Again, name me another player that would get in that Liverpool team, even on the subs bench, unless it was out of desperate.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Big up, Steve. And this is the thing. I think if you're not a Spurs fan and you're not 100%. Biased, I think a lot of it's like whenever non-Spurs fans talk about Romero, they say, yeah, good player, but nothing special. You speak to a Spurs fan, oh my God, he's amazing. He's the best. We've got this overinflated idea of how good some of our players are, for me. Savva Merchant 101. It's one of the better fake accounts I like. Savva, why do you always want these sloppy second players from big teams? There's a reason they're bench warmers. They will not elevate us. Okay, let's break down your argument. The players that play in front of these sloppy second players that you're talking about, are they leaving Liverpool to join Tottenham? Is Soboslai leaving Liverpool to join Spurs? Is Alexis McAllister? Is Luis Diaz? Is Salah? None of these people are leaving to join Spurs, which is why you go and get the players that are squad players for the big teams. Isn't that obvious, Dan?
Some of it, I must admit, I'm struggling to argue it, basically. I mean, one way or another, you ever go and get a player off a bigger team, what, are you going to call every player you go and get off them sloppy seconds?
Oh, it's mad, isn't it?
So if we was to go and say, I know this is going to be an extremely random, not going to happen one, but we go and get Foden. He had a pretty shit season last season by his standards, in my opinion, compared to what he has done seasons before. All right, Man City look elsewhere and say, right, we think he's reached our peak for us. We're going to go sell him. And Spurs go and buy him. Have we now just bought sloppy seconds? I think anyone would take Foden.
Yeah, Savva Merchant, I'm putting you in a chat. I hate it when these people do this. But by the way, I've sat here and said on a million occasions, Dan, I would love Spurs to go and buy all the best players in the world. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. So whenever you try and find compromises, people go, why don't you want better players? I do, but those better players probably don't want Spurs. Listen, I am going to wrap up, Dan, because I promised I'm going to send everyone over to Sean. I'll be jumping over there in a minute. Dan, you've got the link if you want to join the show as well. Guys and girls, thank you very much. I really, really do. Hang on. Here you go. You're talking nonsense. I like this. Adam Richards. I had to bring this up. You're talking nonsense. Thanks, Adam. We need, should have been a capital W, by the way, after the full stop. We need 2 or 3 stars, not 5 bang average players again. Sure. Which 2 or 3 stars are joining Tottenham, Adam? This is the thing. I don't disagree that we need stars. Which stars are joining Tottenham?
It's not even necessarily stars. I want 2 players that get into that first team. And sadly, whether you want to put Harvey Elliott gets into that first team for me, so he would count as one of those players. Yes, I'd like to go for bigger, a star, but when do we ever get a bloody star? I at least want 2 players that walk into that first team, and he would do that.
Honestly, mate, I'll never understand this fan base. I'd just love to know from someone like an Adam, what stars are Spurs signing, and what stars are we getting that say, you know what, I don't want to go to Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, but which stars are turning down the big clubs to come to Tottenham? The question should be more about, would Elliott join us? That's got to be the question.
That is the next thing I was going to say. Would he even come to Spurs? He has just been at Liverpool, for God's sake. Okay, not a first teamer there, and look what he's won there. For his career as a whole, I think him going to Spurs would be a very good idea for the sheer fact that he will see consistent football week in, week out, without fail.
Yeah.
But, you know,
see, it's like,
it is, would he come to us? He's just been at Liverpool, for God's sake, and done the league.
I love this one. When you got stars going to Man United after the season they had. First of all, it's Man United. They're one of the biggest football clubs in the world. And if we paid the fees, they will come, but we aren't willing. But you don't know that at all. You've no way of knowing that at all. And Mbeumo is a Man United fan, right? Who wanted to go to Man United. By the way, I wouldn't say Mbeumo and Cunha are stars. They're very good footballers. But anyway, look, I'm going to send everyone over. And absolutely agree. Absolutely agree, my man. So what you need is a coherent team who can gel together. You don't need stuff. This is where I'm at. Get me a team. Get me a team. Anyway, I'm going to send you all over I'm going to send you all over to Sean's channel. When you get there, just type in Savva Raid. Take care, everyone. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate you. And as always, come on, you Spurs.